Hello everyone, it's Steve with Aptera Owners Club. A few days ago, Aptera put out this tweet about if you're reading this, you're watching the sunrise of solar mobility. Thank you for supporting our mission. And one of the first replies was some guy that said, I support Aptera building one production vehicle. One. So far, none. Build a car. Talk, delay, talk, delay. Okay, so this is something that you see quite a bit. And I think we all want to see this car built, and people are getting um, a little antsy or a little tired of waiting. However, there's the flip side of the coin. So what Aptera is dealing with is they need to produce a vehicle, a production vehicle to generate revenue because currently they're just bleeding cash. They're just burning money because they have to pay for their facilities and pay for their staff. And you can keep engineering a car and improving it, but you'll never get revenue. So that's one side. So that's the side that's pushing you to build a car soon. However, the flip side is if you build a car too soon without sufficient testing, then the car is likely to have problems or could have serious problems, which will impact the how good the car is. And so one of the major things that we saw is that they're doing a ton of testing on the solar panels because that's kind of one of their key IPs. And so we've seen the videos of them doing the thermal cycling, the UV testing, the testing against physical attacks, like shooting the hail balls at it. So it seems like they're testing the solar panels very well, and they're doing actual physical testing, not simulation testing. However, I'm not sure, we haven't seen too many videos of their battery testing, and batteries are the other thing that for some reason every EV company wants to build their own battery pack. I don't know why that is. It seems like they should just kind of consolidate and say, hey, here's a good battery pack design, let's all use it. And it's been tested, and we know, but everyone wants to build their own, and batteries are about 30% of the weight of an EV in most cases, a third of the weight of the car, and they're basically, can be big explosive fire hazards if they're not built correctly. And if your battery dies, your car is not worth much. And if the battery um, is not safe, well, that's just a safety concern. So they have to do lots of testing, like the pack level. You have to, test charge and discharge. And I'm sure that Aptera is doing this part. Thermal cycling, you have to expose the battery pack to extreme temperatures. I don't know if they're doing this or not. Vibration testing, that's like one of the major things that goes into battery pack testing is that when you put a battery pack in a car, it's going to be under vibration every time you drive the thing, and the interconnects between the cells and stuff are subject to getting loose and possibly shorting out or causing problems or having battery pack failure. So vibration testing is very important. And then there's crush testing. You try to crush the battery pack. You can do penetration testing to see if you penetrate it, like as in a crash, how will it respond to that. You can test its regenerative braking to see if it can handle the regenerative braking loads at steep angles. And then fire testing, expose it to fires and see how it reacts to that. And then abuse testing to such as like overcharging, over discharging, short circuiting, that kind of things. So a lot of these things can be done kind of in simulation, and but a lot of them need to be done in physical tests. And this kind of testing is really expensive and very time consuming. And so Tesla, when they made the Model 3, they basically um, said that they had done a lot of testing and simulation. And so they didn't need to do as much physical testing. And this is an article written back in 2017. At that time, a lot of people were a little concerned about that, and they thought, maybe this is not a great idea. Now, it turns out that evidently the simulation testing from the Model 3 was actually probably pretty good because the Model 3 hasn't had too many problems, or at least not more problems than would be expected of a new vehicle. Um, and they haven't had any major safety issues with the battery or anything like that. And so maybe Aptera is kind of taking a page out of that playbook and saying, we can do a lot of the battery simulation in silico and not physical testing. And we think that we have a good design and we're just going to go to production with it. And we're just going to look for funding and go to production. I don't know what they're doing because I really would like to see a video from Aptera about the kind of battery testing that they're doing because I think other like the powertrain, Alafe, we've seen the videos from Alafe and how they test their motors. So I believe that those motors and that part of the drivetrain is going to be very well tested. They've done all kinds of stress tests, dunking it in mud and salt water, taking it to really high temperatures, putting it, encasing it in ice, all kinds of stuff. They've done like drop testing on it. So I think the hub motors, in-wheel motors are very robust and have been well tested. The battery pack, I'm sure they're doing simple tests on it, but I don't know if they're doing the fire testing, penetration testing, crush testing, thermal cycling testing, over discharging, overcharging, that kind of stuff. And how much of that are they planning on doing in the physical testing, and how much are they doing in simulation? And I think this is just a really fine balance that they've got to tread because if you just test everything, they're going to run out of money, and the car will never get built. If you do everything in simulation or do not enough testing, you may end up with a car um, that's not safe or not reliable, and both of those cases are not good either. So they have to strike a very clear balance in how much testing they do and how much iteration they do. I mean, everyone's tired of like the iteration and the engineering, but I don't know like where that line is. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think that um, they should kind of push the envelope and maybe not do as much physical testing and not as much iteration and engineering and just move to production? Or do you think it's okay to slow it down and we can wait even longer and they'll use the funding to do more testing to make sure that they have a reliable, um, or safe vehicle. Now, you may end up with a reliable and safe vehicle without the testing. Your design just might be good. You just don't know until you put it out there in the real world for sure. But doing a lot of physical testing definitely helps ensure that. So now I know a lot of the viewers are engineers, so tell me what your guys' thoughts are on this balance between getting to production and doing more testing and iteration. All right, just something to talk about. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone.